First Wind Down Wednesday. Our first Wind Down Wednesday with my Realtor Dream Team. And no, you don't have to drink wine. You can have iced tea, you can have sparkling water. But for me, I am loving, actually, you guys, what's happening is in Windermere, Chelsea will know this,
Mhm.
there's Tim's Wine Market. And he got me started on something called Bonanza.
Ooh. He's always got they've got great selections out there. They really do. Like if you get an opportunity, guys, to go out to the Windermere area and hit up Tim's Wine, they've got great selection out there. You can't beat it.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. And you know what? We're here for you guys. We are here. We're going to be doing this show. My dream team has been very busy because, there's a lot of people that say that they want to be in a house by the time Christmas is here. We've been known in years past to even set up a Christmas tree for people because they're just like, I want to wake up within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to beat Christmas, probably have to be a cash
Castle,
deal at
right?
this point, but
Yeah.
it's getting close to being the holiday.
It is. It
Mhm.
is. And you know what's so sweet? We were showing one of our listings today, and a lady walked in and she said, "Oh, you're Kim Hawk." And then I thought, but they were watching us on YouTube. So I really thank you guys that the information that my dream team is providing is very, very helpful. Super, super helpful. And so we thought, especially now, because we're close to the end of the year, some people are making some New Year's resolutions coming up soon, too. And I think there's going to be critical information that you guys give. For those of you that don't know me, I have been a realtor for over 25 years. My mom was a broker, so technically I can say maybe I've been in real estate for around 50 years. I hate to say
Mhm.
that because it's a big number, but I have been a resident of Central Florida now for about 40 years. I was recruited out of college to work for Walt Disney World as a VIP tour guide. I will share with you, though, that our Miranda can kick my butt on Disney trivia any given day.
I don't know about that. I got some brushing up to do.
No, my gosh, she's so, so good. So I know we got a lot of Miranda fans out there because we are also part of Streaming the Magic. We would encourage you to go to our Near Disney YouTube channel here. But we really are here for you guys. And we just thought if we have a glass of wine or a glass of tea and we look for your questions, if we don't know the answers, I promise you we will look up those answers. But I feel pretty confident that this Realtor Dream Team of mine is going to be able to answer anything that you have. So let's do this. Why don't we talk about maybe Elijah? Why don't we talk about? Oh, and I should tell everybody too. I have nicknames. Sometimes you'll hear me call my team. Elijah is known as the Prince of Real Estate. Yes.
Yes.
Miranda is known as our Alice in Wonderland.
Hey, everyone.
Chelsea is known as the fairy goddaughter of real estate because she
Hi,
truly is
guys.
my goddaughter. And
I
I'm
am.
known as the fairy godmother of real estate for YouTube. So, anyway, if you hear me start slipping into things, calling them these nicknames, that's because those are the nicknames that I've given to them. So, let's start back to maybe starting a conversation about Elijah. Why do you find, I mean, here we are, December 14th and we're getting all these calls now saying, "Hey, can you close by Christmas?" Or what's going on in the marketplace right now?
Yeah, well, one reason why we get a lot of attention around this time of year in Florida itself does is because it is warm. It feels good out. It is, the sunshine state, and it kind of stays warm and sunny for longer, and so people love to enjoy that. Also, because when you start going into a new year, you start thinking about the new year's taxes. Then that whole cycle starts over, for the new January to December. And Florida has some attractive benefits as a state that does not have the state income tax, which is some people see as huge. So one thing that I kind of wanted to take a chance to talk about is kind of contrasting Florida with the zero state income tax and the nice warmer weather around this time of year, at least with some of our northeastern states where we've been getting some clients lately from New Jersey and New York that have been wanting to come down here. We saw a lot of that during the pandemic as well. People from like from the Northeast and even the West were just they were zeroed in on Florida lifestyle for a number of reasons. One of them being tax, one of them just being the lifestyle as well. And yeah, so because if you're going to think about New York, then you are probably starting at somewhere between a 4 to 10% state income tax just for like the 2023 year. And then I think even if you're in Manhattan, they have a little bit more. It can be like another 3% additionally on top of that. So if you're a higher income earner, you might be paying around like 14% in just the state income taxes for just New York. And so, you'll be in Florida, just kind of just doing that 10 to 37% total with just federal and not having to worry about that for 2023. And then New Jersey, actually, if you're probably getting a little bit more of a break, the state income tax doesn't like start at 4%, starts at like 1.4% to that, like kind of getting up to 10% as well, just depending again on the income bracket. So we have had like our clients from New Jersey. They're the most delightful people. I think certified textbook dictionary photo Disney adults that just love it here, have dreamed about coming here. We had the wonderful opportunity to nestle them, not just in Florida, not just in a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, but in Celebration, Florida, the town that was literally built by Disney. And that's going to be their retirement home that they've secured. But they're telling me they can't move in yet because they're still contractually agreed to have just a couple more years. But they text us a Christmas card and a holiday greeting saying that every day they wake up wishing that their company gets bought out so that they don't have to fulfill the rest of that contract and they can just start the rest of their life here. And I'm sure that the lack of a state income tax will be a big part of that happily ever after.
Yeah. Life's too short. Life's too short, and I think what's happened is that there's a lot of companies now too that are allowing people to work from their homes. And, Central Florida is pretty close to a wonderful international airport. And so
Yeah.
if you had to go fly up to, say, Philadelphia or Chicago for a meeting, which most people don't, because usually you can be on a Zoom call or you could have a Brady Bunch conversation going on like us. And so I completely get getting away from the taxes, getting away from severe weather, getting away from severe weather.
We do look like the Brady Bunch with our squares here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did pull up the weather forecast for today, which is Wednesday, December 14th, and New York and New Jersey about the same with a high of 40 degrees Fahrenheit
No,
and a
I'm
low
out.
of 29 degrees.
This is why we
I'm
live
out.
in Florida.
I'll probably be about the evening time.
I'm out
I
unless I'm
know.
prepared. I am out. Not
Well, but
happening.
guys, did you see the forecast for Friday? I think we're supposed to be getting in a cold front. It should be like
Yes,
40 or 50.
I'm
Ah,
excited.
But
Excited.
it's 80 degrees high today here, and I'm I'm loving it personally. I did move here from the north as well. I was actually born in the like Philadelphia area, and snow
and
is
actually, you were in Nebraska for a while too, Elijah. That gets cold.
family moved to Nebraska. I know what 18 degrees below zero feels like,
No,
and
thank you.
yeah,
Nope.
I'm loving it here. That's for sure.
I will say I am excited about the fact that it might be 59 on Christmas and not 80.
Yes.
No, no, no.
Oh, I
Elijah,
just
Miranda's
bring the
like, no.
snow.
Miranda's like, I want to be in the swimming pool that day. No.
no, I'm
It's
I'm
not.
ready. I was gonna say one of our viewers just said water park today for us. Loving the 80-degree weather. Oh
Oh.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, no.
no
I'm
water.
with
I'm
them.
good.
Water parks for me.
No, no.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you
it.
know what? We have incredible. Oh my gosh, let's talk about that a little bit. So, water parks in Central Florida, come on now. We have the most incredible water parks. You look at Typhoon Lagoon,
Oh yeah.
You know, you can
Pleasant
go
View.
out in a hammock. I feel like I'm in Hawaii. So amazing. You know, when you look at Margaritaville, which isn't far from
Oh
Celebration,
yeah.
they've got that H2O area. Honest to God, too. Oh, let's not forget SeaWorld.
Yes.
Oh,
Chelsea,
SeaWorld
what
and
about
Aquatica,
Discovery?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
SeaWorld,
Aquatica.
my baby. I love SeaWorld. I grew up going to SeaWorld. I did SeaWorld camp every year when I was a kid. So SeaWorld's definitely it's changing. It's shifting. The dynamic of the park itself is shifting from more of the animals just because of some of the changes that have happened. So it's not as animal based anymore. They're shifting more into like a thrill ride. So they're actually getting ready to open up a new coaster here, hopefully within the next few months. Miranda, you can correct me if I'm wrong,
No,
but
you're right. You're right.
they are getting ready to open. Like they've got pieces of it up already in the park. It's right at the entrance. It's huge. It's a standing roller coaster, and I'm pretty stoked for it.
Well, we're
it's a
going to have to
surfboard.
film you. We're going to have to film you
Yeah,
because it's not going to be me.
Do
it's
we
We're
a
get a
not,
field
it's going to
trip
be
day
me.
then? Does the dream team get a field trip to
field trip.
Yes.
SeaWorld.
You guys will volunteer.
I'm in.
I will film it. I
Let's
will
go.
film
No,
it.
there's no better feeling to me. Like I don't miss the snow. I don't miss the ice. I'm from the not as north as Elijah, but kind of mid south. So no, I don't miss snow and ice. So I'm curious. Do you miss any of the snow and ice? Like, is it Christmas to you without any of that here?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Here's my thing. When you walk into all these beautiful towns, because you guys know if you watch us on our YouTube channel, we concentrate on that 25-mile radius around Cinderella's castle and also Lake County because our Disney cast members love Lake County. All these towns come up with the most beautiful decorations for
Mhm.
Christmas. And we have Snope. Elijah, what is Snope?
Snope is a cute Disney-esque magical event that happens in that town of Celebration where they shoot up snow that is actually flakes of soap that still comes down just as beautifully, but can do achieve the same aesthetic, but in warmer weather. So
Yeah.
we call it Snope.
I'm
And
Yeah.
you
all
know,
about
when
some
we
snow.
have all these options in the theme parks, and Miranda, you can talk to us about this as well. But like when you have the candlelight processional at Epcot Center,
Oh my
that
gosh.
melts my heart.
Oh man, I don't know that there are very few times that I walk away from there not teary eyed. Like I had a chance to go Sunday and I saw Josh Gad.
Oh.
He is the voice of
Oh.
Olaf, so he was narrator for that
Oh.
weekend, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was great to kind of hear different takes and different personalities on the same story because they all have a little piece of themselves that they bring to the whole processional. So if you're
Mhm.
not familiar with it, the candlelight processional there at Epcot kind of does the retelling of the story of Jesus and how he was born and takes you through all that biblically. But it's set to some wonderful narration and beautiful orchestra music that's conducted right there in front of you. And of course,
Mhm.
they've got a ginormous choir right back behind them. And then the trumpeters, too. Like everything is just live for you. It's spectacular.
I love it. I love it. So for us to say, do we miss anything from being up north? I think Central Florida has really tried their best in order to bring Christmas to us, almost to the point where it's imagineered to the sense that, right? Except now we don't have to
Imagineered. I
drive
like
through
that.
the
Yes.
ice.
It offers a bit of that best of both worlds. That's why they say about us, like in Florida, you have to go north to go south.
Oh, that's very good, Elijah.
That's
That's
true.
very good.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm the oddball out here. I'm the unicorn. I was born and raised here.
She was born. Yes, she was. I was actually with her mother in the delivery room when Chelsea
Yes,
was
ma'am.
born. So upon her first breath, my goddaughter, I was with her, and I was pregnant to the point where Ashley, as my
We heard
daughter,
about
and
you.
Chelsea, I felt like I was going to accidentally knock over very important equipment while she was being born because I was so pregnant. And at that time, I was working with Michael Jackson because I was doing marketing, and I have pictures of how big I was pregnant. So I will share with you. It was a miracle, baby girl, that you were delivered with no problems, that I didn't knock over any equipment. I just
Other than being really early.
yes, yes, yes.
Other than being really early. So I wish I could share the sentiment of coming from up north to down here. I mean, I've traveled the country and I've traveled the world, and I know that I can only do snow and cold for about a week max, and then out. Get me out. I'm done. You can't make me stay any longer. But I
Well, you
love
know
it.
what's so nice is that when we living by Orlando International Airport, it's nice that we know that we can go visit for a week, but then we can come back here.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
a lot of people like that though, Chelsea, about the beach. Like they can do the beach
Yes.
for about 2 or 3 days and then that's it.
Yeah.
They're done.
I mean, I love the beach. I am definitely a water baby. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of I like doing a mix of everything. I'm kind of the same way. I like the beach a little bit. I like the woods a little bit. I like the snow a little bit. So little bits of everything I think is a good combination.
You're a little bit more well-rounded than we are. Nothing wrong with that.
You know, I think because we're probably going to be, a lot of people will be watching us throughout the week, but I'd like to see the comments of anybody who has, this is one of the, I have this hypothesis. Elijah, what do we call it? Hypothesis is also what? Something else?
Our thought experiment.
Our thought experiment. So our thought experiment is, this is one of the very rare areas in the world where you can wake up, wake up and see the sunrise over at Cocoa Beach area. You can drive to Central Florida, have a beautiful lunch or whatever, at Reggiano's, whatever, Central Florida. And then you can still drive over and have dinner at Treasure Island, or you can be at Clearwater and see the sunset all within one day.
Yep.
And that's magical.
Yes.
Full adventure. Love it.
Yeah, full of adventure. So just curious, is anybody that's watching or has anybody done that? Because I have done it and I will tell you, I think I want to do it again because I've been talking about it a lot. And I'm excited too because we have Brightline coming, that high-speed rail train.
Yes.
And it's going to take people probably in May or so, right, Chelsea? I think Orlando International Airport down to Miami is kind of what the prediction is.
Yeah, that's the plan. I would love to double check and get some final dates for you guys. But yes, the train tracks are very close to being done. And also there's a lot of train track going in on the 528 as well that leads to Cocoa and that direction from the airport area. So they're well on their way to making Brightline happen. So it should, I believe the line goes past Cocoa down to Miami that way. So we drove 528 the other day to head out to Cocoa for some Christmas pictures, and you could definitely see that they are pushing to get that track done, to get that started. So I think it'll be an awesome adventure for people, and especially if you don't want to drive, because it is not always fun driving to Miami. It's not.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is like a super high-end train. Nothing like I've ever, even in Europe, when I've traveled in Europe, and I love that they're used to doing that, right? But this is going to be a super high-end train, very affordable. And then even if you need to do a little work or what have you, they're going to have, everything so that you can plug in and do your work. And then they have food and beverage. They have a wine cart. But when you arrive, as long as you're within a 5-mile radius, they offer a free Tesla, to take you and drop you off. So Rod and I found this incredible hotel in Miami, and we're like, we don't want to leave this anymore because this is too good to be true. But we're going to have a lot of people. So hello, Miami. A lot of Miami people are going to be coming up to Orlando because I think it's going to be super easy for you now to come up for the theme parks. You're going to want to possibly buy a second home. Once again, this is my dream team. Look at their telephone numbers because they're going to be able to sell, a home to you so that you can just kind of park your clothes and come up here as much as you want.
It's going to be a huge advantage for a lot of people. Easy travel.
Easy travel, yes. So Chelsea, I know on your heart, you've been spending a lot of time because you've been concerned about people that have been renting and the rent is so high in Central Florida. So talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah,
that's something that's heavy on my heart right now, especially with how many people are struggling to maintain rent and stuff like that. We know that it is skyrocketing in a lot of places, and it's fluctuated some, but I pulled some numbers for the past 15 months for rent itself. The median rent has climbed 7.4% year to year for the nation itself. That's just an overall number, which is significant. This is a significant amount for somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck, which a lot of people are doing who are renting. And I've got some numbers also for like our 4 major cities here in Florida. So Jacksonville is actually down a little bit. They're down 1.8%. Their average rent price is a little over $1,500, which isn't horrible. And I don't know what these rents cover as far as like square footage goes. That could vary city by city. So, but the average rent is a little over $1,500 for Jacksonville. Miami is as expected. That's a hot spot. It's up 9.2%
Whoa.
compared to the nation, and it's over $3,200 for, $3,200 for rent average there, and that's normally for a very small space in Miami.
Yeah.
It's very similar to New York.
Yeah, like a
As
studio,
far
right?
as say that again.
Like a studio, right?
Yeah, very small spaces, definitely not meant for big families. Orlando is up 3.1%. It's about $2,000, a little over $2,000 for the average rent. Again, that could probably get you a little bit more here in Orlando. We know that the average rent here for like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath is anywhere probably close to $1,700, to be honest, right now for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for a lot of people.
Yes.
So that 2,000 might get you a little bit more, just depending upon the area that you're looking at in Orlando. And then Tampa is 2,100, which is up 1.7%. So overall in Florida, rent is still going up. And in the state of Florida, we don't have a rent cap either. So that's a huge issue. That means that they can continue to raise rent to whatever they want. There's nothing to say, hey, they have to stop at this amount for rent. So, or this percentage. So that's heavy on my heart, because I know that people are having, we've talked about this before. You've heard Kim talk about it. A lot of people are having to move every year. They're spending thousands of dollars on moving because they feel as though they can't afford to buy. And that's where we come in. Guys, we're telling you that with our lenders, we are capable of getting you guys into something that's bigger for that same price, that's bigger and affordable, and possibly a little bit less than what you're paying for rent as well, for something that's bigger, that you would own, guys.
Yeah.
You would own this. You wouldn't have to. So there's that saying, I can't remember it exactly right now, but you're paying 100% interest on rent. Okay. You're paying 100% interest on rent. You're not gaining anything from that. So why not invest into yourself, invest into a home, and get the place that you really want, even if it's just a starter home, guys. There's nothing to say that you have to stay in a house for years and years and years. It's just a starter home, and let us be the ones to do that for you. I did some calculations, just rough, based on some of the estimates that our lender has given us recently. So for their 30-year, oh my goodness, 30-year fixed.
Yeah.
They are at about 6% right now for a 30-year fix, which is awesome. I feel like that's pretty stable for what we're seeing from some other people.
Yeah.
So at that rate, for that $2,000 average that you're seeing right now in rent, you can afford between a $300,000 and a $350,000 house. And so those, they may be few and far between, but we are definitely able to find them. So please let us know what we can do for you guys. Because again, this is big for me. This is where my heart's at. I want to help get people into somewhere where they're comfortable and they're excited to come home and not have to stress about where they're at in life.
Yeah. I almost feel like I'm encouraging our viewers to get your high school students. Watch Wind Down on Wednesday, because I almost feel like they don't teach this in school, right?
They don't.
And it's so much better to go ahead and purchase. And many times, we have people that have family that will do some gift funds for them in order to help get a property. We also have lenders that will allow you to get in with just like 1% down as well. They'll also pay your private mortgage insurance. And so you don't have to have 20% anymore to put down.
There's so many options, and there's so many assistance programs that some people may qualify for, and just don't struggle, and don't be afraid of the process either. We try to make it as easy as possible. We've got some great people that work with us. It's not as scary as it seems, and we are definitely here to hold your hand through it. So don't be afraid to even just start asking questions. There's nothing wrong with starting the process and just seeing where you're at. Our lender, Maylin, with Disney partners. She will hook you up with numbers just to give you an idea of where you're at. She'll help you with all of your credit information and give you advice on that. Like, don't be afraid to come ask us for help, because it's not as scary as it seems.
Exactly. And so she can spend a couple of months with you if need be in regard to, okay, let's pay that car down, or there's things that a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and just, chop up that credit card. No,
Don't.
don't do any of that until
Don't
Maylin
cancel
tells
the
you to.
account either.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do
We need a
it.
whole other video, Kim, on all the things you don't do when you're trying to buy real estate.
Yes, 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 yes. We're getting ready. Well, actually, we have a book that we've just written about the insider's guide in regard to prepping to sell your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Miranda, you and I have been talking about that a lot lately too, in regard to, we have a lot of helpful information in that book.
That's true. And actually, it's in the chat, everyone, whether it's down below or to the side of you. But this is also the link for it. We want to make sure that you all have access to it first. So if that's something that you're interested in reading, you're interested in selling your home for the maximum amount that you could possibly net off the sale of that home, this is a wonderful resource to get you started. And we're here to walk you through every step of the process.
Yes, because it's been 25, well, I'd say 25 years for me, but I grew up with my mom being a broker, and so 50 years, and so I've heard the same things over and over again. And it's cute because Elijah and I were laughing about it the other day, but I'm like, what's one of the first things I tell people to do? And it's like, okay, if it's a year away, go ahead and start looking at that freezer and start fixing food from that freezer, because you don't want to be schlepping the food from the freezer on, and so we get into great detail in the book that we've provided, and it's free to you guys. It's free. We would love to help. We are here to serve you guys. And speaking of serving too, Miranda, I know you're hot on making sure people don't forget to do a certain thing every year. What is that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of kind of a different approach to talk about today. So we're going to talk about homesteading. And I know that's kind of like a little bit of a foreign term, right? So you don't hear a lot of people talking about homestead here in Florida. So just a quick kind of overview of what it is basically homesteading is a process that you can do with your primary residence here in Florida. So it must be your primary home that you reside in order for this to work. It allows for certain tax benefits there, tax protections there, but it will also protect you against losing your home against most creditors. Now, I'll have to caveat that and say, if you're in a bankruptcy situation, it won't allow them to not, pull over your home. So definitely call us before you get to that point, if that's the case.
Right.
I also wanted to caveat too and say, we're not tax professionals and we're not real estate attorneys, but I'm happy to tell you a little bit more on it. Like I said, it must be your primary residence. So basically, there's an up to $50,000 tax break basically for you. So $25,000 of that property tax, including school district taxes, are already covered. That first 25,000. The way you're going to get that second 25,000 is if you're applicable for like an assessed value between 50,000 and 70,000, or you happen to fall into some other categories like you're active or retired military, you're 65 and older. There are some widowed spouses situations. So there's going to be some additional kind of age groups or so that can fit into those additional to make that a full 50,000 tax bracket there. And the way that you go and file that exemption is basically you need to work with your agent when you go and close on your home. So the best and probably most essential information we can give you on that is make a plan to go ahead and do that early. So when you go to file for the exemption, and that's done with the Florida Department of Revenue, you will file that in the same year that you purchase your home, hopefully. The deadline for that, though, is March 1st of each year. So, for example, if you are buying a home this year, let's say you're closing on a home before Christmas, right? You have up until March 1st. So the sooner the better while it's fresh on your mind. If you were to file before March 1st, then that tax benefit takes in effect for you for the next year, so 2023, right? So if you were to miss that deadline on March 1st, though, and you file after March 1st, even though it's still 2023 because it's after the deadline, you won't see those tax benefits until 2024. So that's why it's always, always important to go ahead and take advantage of that. I was actually talking with Chelsea a little earlier, and she said, she's had family members that didn't do
Didn't
this
do it.
for
Yep.
years.
Didn't do it at
Years,
all.
right?
Yeah, my grandmother, she didn't do it at all, and then we didn't find it out until
No.
after she had passed away and we were ready to sell her home. So come to find out, she was paying way more in her taxes than she needed to be. So it's just, guys, it's money that you can save. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, in the state of Florida, it renews every year for you once you've done it.
Once you filed for the
So,
exemption, yes.
Right.
just so everybody knows, it's not something you have to remember to do every year, but once you file for it, it'll renew. And you can do it through the county property appraiser as well, can you not?
Yes.
Right, you
Yeah.
can go
So
online.
definitely talk to the real estate attorneys, county property appraisers, Florida Department of Revenue. We're happy to help point you in the right directions too. And if you've closed on a home with us already, we need to be talking about that and making sure that you've already filed for that exemption if your primary home is here.
Yes. So our thought process has always been Valentine's Day, because we know by March 1st we're like, okay, Valentine's Day, what is it? Don't give people flowers, don't give people candy, give them homestead exemption.
Give them money. Give them what they really.
We've got somebody coming in from Brazil. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome.
Brazil.
Winter Garden love.
over God.
I'm so close to Winter Garden. Yes, we love it over there. Hi, RBS. Good to see you.
You know what I love? We have an eight-part series, and we're doing that on Fridays. And Winter Garden's coming up. It's I think this week we're going to be talking about Lake Nona. But what we've been talking about is Walt Disney, the words that he spoke, because his birthday was on December 5th. He would have been 121 years old. And but next year, Disney is celebrating the 100th anniversary of everything that Disney's legacy is all about. So I just feel like my dream team is getting ahead of it, because what we've been doing over the course of the last year is we've been doing these videos on the towns within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. Well, when you're a VIP tour guide some 40 years ago, they would say that Cinderella's castle is in the center of a spoke of a wheel. And then you would have Tomorrowland, Main Street, Adventureland, Frontierland, all that kind of good stuff. So in last week's show, we talked about Celebration really being like Main Street. And there's some examples. So go to Near Disney, please, and check that out. And then Lake Nona, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, the people that are watching tonight. We're talking about, when Walt was talking about futuristic things, Lake Nona is incredible because they have the autonomous cars that are driving people around. They have a vertiport that they're going to be able to take people by taxi to. They have 5G. It's very Tomorrowlandish. Winter Garden's coming next. So our friend from Brazil that loves Winter Garden, tell us what you love most about Winter Garden, because we're going to be talking about Winter Garden soon. We love it too.
They actually just said that they want to move to Winter Garden. They want to live in Winter Garden. So RBS, please let us know. We would love to help you.
Yes. And you know what we love? Our YouTube crew is from Brazil. And so if English is not your first language, we have people that speak Portuguese and would be more than happy to walk through, because we know that when you invest in a property, it's one of the probably the most highest end expenses that you're going to be involved in. And so we have Dee and Daniela, who we love, and they would be more than happy to help us as we walk you through. Winter Garden is incredible.
Yes. That's another place. I grew up in Windermere, and Winter Garden was a place that we go to all the time. And they've got so much out there. It is a golf cart community. They've got that historic downtown area that's growing rapidly, guys. There's some beautiful new condos going in that I know are on the little bit of the higher side, but they are gorgeous right there behind the brewery.
Yes. Good point. Yes.
they're finding ways to continue to add to Winter Garden. And then Oakland is right after that. They've got some beautiful new developments in Oakland, and then Claremont and Winter Garden are right there. So
They're like
they are
sister
far.
Common
properties.
with all the surrounding cities, right? It's like Winter
Yeah.
Garden, but I'm still here in
Yeah.
another place too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just as a little teaser, we're going to compare Winter Garden with Adventureland.
Oh,
So,
Ooh.
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
That's a
Sounds
good
appropriate to me.
comparison.
Are there pirates
yeah,
out there?
Are there
yeah.
what?
Are there pirates out in Winter
I
Garden?
think
I
so.
mean, maybe a
I mean, there's
few
got to be some tiki birds somewhere, right?
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know in Claremont there is. If you want to go
Okay.
up the West Orange Trail towards Claremont, there might be a couple pirates, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Claremont, we've got a special place for that in the future too. But I think some of the questions that have come in over the course of the last week for us too is how's the market doing? And so I know you guys you've got your feet, on the pavement. I'm pulling up right now what's happened in the month of November, and this is the Orlando Realtors Association, um, because people have been told, oh my gosh, it's a seller's market and you have to offer above asking price and stuff, and that's not really true, right, you guys? I mean, you've got to offer pretty close to asking price if it's priced properly, but the key is you got to get with a realtor that knows what the market is doing, right?
yeah, I think it's shifted so much over the past few months that people are having a difficult time navigating what's happening because sometimes it's on one spectrum in one area and in a different spectrum in another area. So having a realtor to understand what each area is doing is a big component of it as well. It's not just an overall market, and especially in Central Florida, everywhere is a little bit different. So
Yes. And we should state, when you utilize a buyer's agent, you're not paying any more for that property, even when you go in for new construction. Because if you go into a new construction area, somebody's going to be paid for that buyer's commission. Why not utilize my dream team that's going to be able to come in and say to you, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I'm looking at paperwork and this could put you at jeopardy for this. Or hey, maybe we need to be bringing an inspector in to make sure before you go to that final walkthrough, before you sign everything, right? So just know there's no risk to you. When you're a buyer, you want to talk to the 3 Dream Team members, and all their telephone numbers are here. But I can tell you with Central Florida, because with Orlando Regional Realtors Association, they're taking Orange County, Osceola County, they're taking Lake County and Polk County, a lot of different counties. And what they're saying is November, active listings are only up by like 2%. So it's not like a lot of people are letting their houses go. People love living here.
mhm.
They love living here, right? And then as far as new listings going from last month, it's down 9%, down 9%.
Wow.
Yeah, pending sales are up 3%. So what does that tell
Mm.
me? When we're doing the math, it's like it's getting a little tighter for a
The power
buyer.
of choice is going away for our buyers.
Mhm.
Miranda, exactly, exactly. The solds are down 20% from, or actually 19% from last month. So that just means to me that people are probably closing in October versus November. Average days on market though, 34 days. So if you guys are watching Zillow or realtor.com, which by the way, we prefer that you go to near disney.world, because we're going to be able to show you stats as well. It's not a big deal if a house has been on the market for 34 days. Elijah and I were talking about this the other day. It's like when people see a house that's been on the market for a month and they think, what's wrong with it? No,
No.
no, right, Elijah? We're like, that's normal.
Yeah, those days are gone. It's
Yeah.
it's just bouncing out a little bit more. You there was a time in a market where you used to said like a month for every 100,000, like, and that went away fast. But if we're not there yet, but I mean, there's no reason to really suspect that at this time. I don't think.
Yeah, the key is to get to know these realtors, these dream realtors, and they're going to tell you honestly, hey, I think there's an issue with this house, and that's why it's been sitting for 6 months or whatever. Sometimes, you guys, when you're looking at a house, we're trying to show it to you, and maybe you want to buy a vacation rental home. We haven't been able to show it for 5 months because it's been booked every day.
That's true too. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of those short-term rentals here, especially once you get into Osceola, Polk, Lake counties. Yeah, it's definitely something. It's a hurdle to get around, and they're unforgiving. They will not give up those reservations.
That's money.
All that
That's
money.
money.
We're like,
Yeah,
no, sorry, it's booked solid for the next 2 months. You're just gonna have to wait on it.
In the book
yeah,
that you wrote, Kim, like you had that part that kind of defined how to look at a market, and you said that like traditionally a balanced market was like if it could sell in like less than 5 or 6 months, where
Mhm.
so we've gotten used to like what you call like the swift market, where it's like things evaporate off in like 30 days or less. But
Yeah.
that's just
yes,
that's a very special kind of market. But we're getting a
yeah,
little bit back to something normal, and that could be a relief to some of our viewers.
yes, that's right, that's right.
I'm
You
glad you
know,
touched on that, Elijah, though,
yeah,
because
please.
6 months, like you said, is a balanced market. And there's a lot of folks that have never bought a home in a balanced market. They
Mm.
don't know that what that is. They don't know that that's okay. That is
Yes.
a true balanced market. So you don't have a surplus one way or the other, or buyers or sellers. So it's okay that things are slowing down potentially right now. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's right. And you know what I'm seeing as well is, you know, uh last year, the average sales price was 386. But this, guess what it is now? 428.
Oof.
So
Wow.
we don't want people waiting. Don't wait. If you
Yeah.
wait too long, all of a sudden now it's going to be $500,000 to be in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Don't wait, right? And if you're waiting because the interest rate you feel like maybe 6% is too high, talk to us because we have ways. I've got very smart people that work on my team, and they know they can possibly go to that seller and they can say, I need you to be able to give us 3% towards buyer's closing costs that can possibly, take that interest rate down.
Mhm.
I've heard other realtors that have said, "Oh, I want to do a 2-1 where I just break it down for the next 2 years." No, we don't do that. I'm recommending that you talk to my realtors, and they will say, "No, let's figure out how to buy that down so it works for 30 years."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I think that's a big thing. It's not putting people in a situation that they can't afford. So we
Yes,
never want to put anybody, we never want to say we're going to get you into a home at something that you 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you're not able to afford. So please know that we are here for you guys. We would never want to put you, and we'll be upfront and honest with that. We would never put you in a situation for our sake
no,
to get you guys into a home.
yeah,
And I think too, like understanding and setting a realistic expectation that 6% is pretty darn good for a rate. Those those 2 to 4s that we were seeing before were the one-off type thing that only happened because of the pandemic. So just setting realistic expectations of that 5 to 7 range is average, guys. Like that's a normal rate.
that's right. That's right. So I just gotta tell you guys, I'm very proud of you. I get to have these conversations with you guys all the time, and I just wanted to make sure that it was out in the universe so people could see that you guys know your stuff and that they can call you. Your telephone numbers are right by your names. Yeah.
Right
There you
here.
go.
Were there any other questions we hadn't answered, Miranda? Or are we okay?
I think we're good on questions for right now, but I'm so glad to be working alongside people that do know what we're talking about. And we're not going to partner you with lenders or appraisers or title companies that can't follow through either. We
Yeah.
vet all of our vendors, all of our suppliers. You're never going to be put in a situation where someone cannot follow through on what they've promised you. And it's really important, maybe now more than ever, maybe over the past couple years even, that you work with experienced realtors that can negotiate and have that skill level on your behalf, because it's going to be very imperative in the months to come.
That's exactly right. That's a very good way to close the show tonight. So Thank you guys, and please, watch. We're going to be doing this weekly, and we're looking forward to seeing your questions because we want this show to provide information that you guys are looking for.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Cheers, everybody.
Wind down Wednesday.
Clink across the screen.
I know,
Clink, clink, clink.
Some ASMR. Some ASMR.
There you go.
Let me throw some ASMR in there. I got you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, RBS, God bless you too, friend. Thanks for hanging with us today.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless you.
God
That
bless.
means a lot to us. I like that. God bless you. Yes.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Till next week, wind it down.
Wind
Bye,
it down.
guys.